What if I told you one of Hollywood's biggest movies almost never got finished? Its director suffered a heart attack on set, the Red Sea was made of Jell-O, and baby Moses wasn't an actor, but Charlton Heston's real-life son. This is the untold story of the Ten Commandments, 1956, a film so massive, so daring, and so cursed behind the scenes that it nearly destroyed everyone who made it. From real Egyptian artifacts to hidden scandals and mind-blowing effects, here are 20 of the strangest facts most fans never knew. Fact 1. The biggest gamble in Hollywood. When Cecil B. DeMille decided to remake his 1923 film, he didn't just want big, he wanted biblical. The budget soared to $13 million, over $140 million today, making it the most expensive movie ever made. DeMille built full-scale Egyptian temples, dressed thousands of extras, and even constructed an entire desert city for Ramesses. Studios called him crazy, but his gamble made history. Fact 2. A 2-year battle in the desert. Filming the Ten Commandments was no ordinary shoot. It took 2 years, split between Egypt's deserts and Hollywood sets. Crews endured sandstorms, scorching heat, and months of reshoots. The Red Sea scene alone took 6 months to finish. For everyone involved, it wasn't just making a movie. It was building a civilization. Fact 3. A cultural earthquake. When the Ten Commandments premiered, it wasn't just a movie. It was an event. It earned $65 million in 1956, over $700 million today, making it one of the biggest box office hits in history. Families lined up for blocks, churches rented theaters, and Paramount re-released it for decades. Even now, millions still watch it every Easter. This wasn't just a film. It became a tradition. Fact 4. The director who refused to slow down. At 75, Cecil B. DeMille was Hollywood's oldest active director, and instead of retiring, he took on his biggest challenge yet. Wearing a full suit and tie in the scorching desert, he commanded hundreds of extras through a megaphone, reviewing every shot with military precision. He wasn't just directing, he was leading an army. But that relentless drive for perfection nearly cost him his life. Fact 5. The heart attack that nearly ended it all. During a brutal shoot at Mount Sinai, Cecil B. DeMille collapsed from a heart attack. At 75, in the middle of Egypt, most directors would have quit. Doctors urged him to rest, and the studio feared disaster. But just 2 days later, DeMille returned, weak but unstoppable. Sitting in a chair with his megaphone, he kept directing. His determination became legend, the image of a man who refused to let even death stand between him and his masterpiece. Fact 6. The Red Sea made of Jell-O. The parting of the Red Sea remains the Ten Commandments' most iconic moment. And it wasn't CGI. It was Jell-O. Special effects genius John P. Fulton used giant water tanks, slow-motion cameras, and layers of gelatin to create the illusion of towering waves. He then reversed the footage to make the water appear to rise and crash on command. The result was breathtaking, a scene so convincing that even decades later, it still stands as one of the greatest effects in film history. Fact 7. A real family on the Nile. Moses's mother, Jochebed, was played by Charlton Heston's real-life wife, Lydia Clark, and the baby she set afloat on the Nile wasn't an actor, but their actual son, Fraser Heston. That heartfelt scene showed real love, not just acting, something audiences could feel even without knowing the truth. Fittingly, little Fraser later followed in his father's footsteps and became a director himself. Fact 8. The voice of Moses. Charlton Heston's booming voice gave the Ten Commandments its power, and a few technical headaches. His delivery was so strong it overloaded microphones, forcing engineers to constantly adjust levels, especially during "Let My People Go." But Heston didn't just sound like a prophet, he looked like one. His rugged features and commanding presence made audiences believe he was born for the role. Years later, Heston admitted, "Playing Moses didn't just change my career. It changed me." Fact 9. The Rivalry of Kings. Yul Brynner, fresh off The King and I, brought charisma and authority to Ramesses II, perfectly matching Charlton Heston's commanding Moses. Behind the scenes, though, Brynner reportedly felt overshadowed by Heston's size and started training hard, even requesting camera angles to make him look taller. Whether rivalry or respect, the tension paid off. Their on-screen clashes remain some of the most powerful in movie history. Fact 10. The Fire of Nefertiti. If Heston was the voice of power and Brynner the face of intimidation, Anne Baxter was the heart of passion. As Nefertiti, torn between love and loyalty, Baxter delivered a performance so grand and emotional it bordered on Shakespearean. Wide eyes, trembling voice, every gesture larger than life. Some called it over the top, but that's exactly what Cecil B. DeMille wanted. Subtlety wasn't his style. Spectacle was. Decades later, Baxter's performance remains a cult favorite. Love it or laugh at it, she made Nefertiti unforgettable. Fact 11. The Exodus that shook Hollywood. For the epic exodus from Egypt, most directors would have used miniatures or camera tricks. But Cecil B. DeMille went bigger. He gathered 8,000 extras and 15,000 animals to march across the desert, managing chaos under the blazing sun like a general leading an army. The result was breathtaking. A sea of humanity stretching across the sands. No CGI, no shortcuts, just pure cinematic ambition. That one scene alone secured the Ten Commandments' place as one of Hollywood's greatest epics. Fact 12. The scene that nearly killed DeMille. During the Mount Sinai sequence, Cecil B. DeMille collapsed from a heart attack. But after a brief recovery, he came right back to finish the scene. So when you see Moses climbing the mountain, know that DeMille was there, directing through chest pain, refusing to stop. It's poetic. A man pushing himself to the edge while filming a story about faith and endurance. The Ten Commandments wasn't just his masterpiece. It was his final testament. Fact 13. The Heavyweight Commandments. Those famous stone tablets Moses holds? They weren't props. They were real stone, each weighing over 50 pounds. Charlton Heston had to lift them again and again under scorching lights while delivering long speeches. Crew members joked he earned his prophet's muscles on set, but the realism paid off. Every movement looked and felt genuinely weighty, both physically and symbolically. Fact 14. The epic that almost fell apart. The Ten Commandments nearly collapsed mid-production. With the ballooning budget, DeMille's heart attack, and thousands of extras and animals to manage, Paramount nearly shut it down. Executives wanted to scale back, but DeMille refused. Either we do this right, or we don't do it at all. His defiance paid off. The risks that scared the studio ended up saving it, and cemented DeMille's place in Hollywood history. Fact 15. The Lost City of DeMille. Few know that The Ten Commandments, 1956, was actually Cecil B. DeMille's second version of the story. Back in 1923, he made a silent version where only part of the film was about Moses. The rest was a modern tale of two brothers, one righteous and one corrupt. For the biblical scenes, DeMille built a massive city of Pharaoh in the California desert. When filming ended, he ordered the entire set buried under sand so no one could reuse it. Decades later, archaeologists uncovered the remains, giant sphinxes and painted ruins, dubbed the Lost City of DeMille. When he remade the story in 1956, DeMille was haunted by that buried city. He wasn't just retelling a story. He was outdoing his younger self. In the end, he left behind not one, but two monumental films, one lost to time, and one that still lives on every Easter. Fact 16. DeMille's final masterpiece. The Ten Commandments was Cecil B. DeMille's last film, his ultimate creation after a lifetime of Hollywood epics. At its premiere, he stood before the audience, frail but proud, knowing this was his legacy. DeMille passed away in 1959, but his film lives on. Every Easter, millions still watch it. It's more than a movie. It's a tradition, a monument in cinematic history. Fact 17. DeMille's old-school clickbait. Before YouTube hooks, there was Cecil B. DeMille. He opened the Ten Commandments by stepping on stage to personally address the audience, explaining why the story mattered, basically saying, "Stick around, this will be worth it." It was bold, theatrical, and broke the fourth wall decades before the internet ever existed. Fact 18. Baby Moses was a Heston. That adorable baby floating down the Nile? It wasn't an actor. It was Charlton Heston's real son, Fraser Heston. When hiring a baby proved too difficult, Cecil B. DeMille suggested using Heston's own child. Fraser, just a few months old, made his Hollywood debut. Years later, he joked, "My film career started at the top of Mount Sinai, and there was nowhere to go but down." Fact 19. The Oscars snub. Despite its epic scale, the Ten Commandments didn't sweep the Oscars. It earned 7 nominations but won only 1, for Best Visual Effects. Many felt DeMille's old-school style clashed with the new Hollywood era, but it didn't matter. Audiences made it a masterpiece, and its box office success outshone any golden statue. Fact 20. The Miracle of the Burning Bush. The burning bush scene had to look both real and divine. And it did. The crew built a metal, flame-proof bush with hidden gas pipes to create fire that danced just above the branches without burning them. Then, in post-production, they added layered film effects to make the flames glow supernaturally. Audiences were mesmerized. Even today, it stands as one of Hollywood's most beautiful and haunting visual effects. Bonus fact: the Egyptian curse. One of the strangest rumors about the Ten Commandments claims that some props weren't replicas. They were real Egyptian artifacts, allegedly smuggled from tombs and dig sites. Soon, whispers of a curse spread on set. Strange shadows, sudden illnesses, and freak accidents during night shoots. Nothing was ever proven, but the legend stuck, adding an eerie touch to a film already shrouded in mystery and myth. That's a wrap for this video. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed it and want to hear more, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when the next video drops. See you next time.